Hey folks, hope you're doing well, hope you're keeping safe, and this week we're going to actually be making an assortment of cannolis. Well, technically only two. And cannolis are Italian pastries, which are tube-shaped shells of fried dough, and then they're filled with delightful deliciousness. And when I first heard of cannolis, I kind of thought of something else. And me being me, you know, cannoli, right? And I know what you're thinking, just run the clip already. So we're going to be actually doing two types of cannolis today. So we're going to do a lemon curd and ricotta cannoli, maybe mixed in with a little touch of mascarpone. And then in addition, we're actually going to be making ourselves a coffee and chocolate cannoli as well. So obviously making that pastry in the dough, and then we're going to fry it off. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So very straightforward, well, straightforward, maybe, but we're going to enjoy this. I hope you guys and gals will. So if I've convinced you, feel free to hit the subscribe and the bell button for notifications when videos are uploaded, but always appreciated. So I think it's time to crack on, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So we're going to need to start making that cannoli mix first, as it needs time to rest. So we're going to need 250 grams of plain or all-purpose flour, which is about 2 cups, and sifted. In addition, we want 2 tablespoons of fine granulated sugar or caster sugar, 1 pinch of salt. In addition, we want 40 grams of unsalted butter, which is 1/8 of a cup. And then you want to get your hands in there and breaking down that butter, incorporating it into the flour and the sugar using your thumb and index finger. So after that's incorporated, we're going to need 1 egg and also 4 tablespoons of Marsala wine, which is going to be about 60 ml. Ooh. Without stumbling and drinking all the Marsala, mix the dough together until it binds. And if it doesn't quite bind together, you can always add a little touch more Marsala, right? No, I think we better go with water this time. So add a little splash of water until the dough binds together. But be very careful it doesn't go too sloppy. And once bound together, we're going to give it a knead using our heels of our hands for about 5 minutes until smooth. So once that dough is nice and smooth, we're going to clean it, put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to rest. So next we're going to make the lemon curd, and we're going to juice 2 large lemons. These ones are smaller ones, so I've gone for 3 lemons. So we're going to zest them through a microplane first. Also, don't forget to take the stickers off. Always super important. And also, just bearing in mind when you're zesting, make sure you zest and turn, zest and turn. Do not go into the white. That's the bitterness. And then you want to juice them. And you could use a sieve to catch the pips. I'm using the back of my microplane. Next, you want about 100 grams of caster sugar or fine granulated sugar, which is ½ a cup. Next, you want to add 5½ tablespoons or 50 grams of unsalted butter. And then in a separate bowl, you want 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk, whisking them together. So grab the lemon mixture and take it over to the stove to a pan of simmering water. And we're just going to lightly whisk that together just until the butter is melted. So once melted, add the egg mixture into the lemon mix. And then continuously whisk that gently just until the mix is thickened and cooked out the eggs. So once the lemon curd is thickened up, we're just going to take that off the stove. And then we're going to carefully pour it straight through a sieve into another bowl. Ah, watching your fingers because it's very hot. So once that's finally passed through, pop a little bit of parchment over the top just to stop it forming a skin. Did I say parchment? I meant to say cling film, but you could use either, I guess. But once this cools down, we're going to pop this in the fridge and let it set even further. So next we're going to do the mascarpone and ricotta, and we're going to need 227 grams or 8 ounces of mascarpone. And then we want 227 grams or 8 ounces of ricotta as well. Then we want 3 tablespoons of icing sugar or powdered sugar. And then just carefully whip that together using a whisk. And you could use a KitchenAid if you want to. I'm not going to use it today. And you was expecting me to use the KitchenAid. So once that's stiffened up, you can pop that in a piping bag. You don't necessarily need a nozzle. So you might be thinking, that seems quite a lot for all these cannolis, considering we're doing 2. Well, I'm glad you asked, because we're actually going to split this in half and then add some coffee powder. So we got the coffee cream for the coffee and chocolate. Cream, technically ricotta and mascarpone, you know what I mean. And then we're going to go for about a teaspoon of espresso powder. I suppose you could go for more, right? Maybe a little bit more. And if you're feeling a little bit wild, just a touch more. Don't add as much coffee as I did. 1 teaspoon is sufficient enough. And also half a teaspoon of cocoa powder because it is coffee and chocolate, right? So once all your fillings are into piping bags, pop them in the fridge. So it's now time to roll and cut those beautiful cannolis. But before we do that, because I'm always forgetting something, oil your rings, or well, technically, oil your tubes. I don't think I'm making this better for myself, am I? So the only thing I can say to that is I can only apologize. And also, if you got some cones hanging around, maybe we can do some cannoli cones. So now it's time to roll out that beautiful dough. So we're going to dust the work surface lightly with some flour. Grab your rolling pin and give it a good roll out until you've got a nice thin pastry. So once the dough is almost transparent, but not quite, we're going to start cutting them with a 9 centimeter ring, which is 3.5 inches, and we're just going to cut them out. Now I know I said 9 centimeter, I'm going to go a little bit of an upgrade and go a little bit bigger with the ring, so about 10 or 11 centimeters. I'm going to try these ones instead. So we're going to have some small ones and also some medium-sized ones as well. And keep the leftovers, you can re-roll this and make some more after that. So grab yourself a little bit of egg wash, as this will be for sealing the tops. So carefully wrap the pastry around the ring, and then just put the smallest amount of egg wash on the top just so it can seal and stick together. So when these fry, they won't unravel. And all you're doing is just making sure you pinch it as well, making sure that seals up a treat. So once they're ready to roll, well, technically they're already rolled, you want to heat yourself up 1,500 ml of peanut oil or 6 cups. If you haven't got peanut oil, you can always use vegetable oil, that's fine. And you want to heat it up to about 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. So once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to carefully drop down those beautiful cannolis, and we're going to cook these for about 2 to 3 minutes until nice golden and crispy. So if you haven't sealed them correctly, this is what happens. But the ones that you have sealed correctly, they'll turn out nice and crispy. Perfect. So once you've finished cooking, turn the heat off, set the oil aside and let this cool down for a good few hours until it's nice and cool. And if you want to reuse it again, pour it back in the bottle once it's nice and cold. So without losing too many, you should get quite a few out of this mixture. And I also found maybe put one in at a time and using that spider to hold it in place for the first few seconds. And your probably cooking time is not really 1 or 2 minutes. I would probably say about 30 seconds until they're golden and crunchy. So now these are finally cooled down, let's start filling them. So starting off with the lemon curd and ricotta, just pop a little bit of that lemon curd in the middle there without it drizzling out too much. And then just carefully pipe the ricotta just on top. And then you want to fill the coffee and chocolate. And I guess you could put some chocolate droplets in there, but we're going to do something else. So going back to the lemon curd and the ricotta mascarpone, we've got ourselves some very finely chopped walnuts, and we're just going to dip the ends straight into there. And then as for the coffee and chocolate garnish, we've actually got ourselves some dark chocolate here, which is about 100 grams or 2/3 of a cup. And we've also got ourselves 100 grams of white chocolate or 2/3 of a cup. And what we want to do is just dip the ends into the chocolate and then just drizzled with white chocolate very finely over the top without making too much mess. So there is our 2 lots of cannolis, which turned out an absolute little delight. I think it's time to try these little bad boys. So the chocolate and coffee, and also the ricotta mascarpone with the lemon curd. So here we go, chat. Oh my goodness me. The lemon curd and the ricotta and the mascarpone mixing together, that crunchy cannoli. And then finishing nicely with those walnuts. Oh my goodness me. Also, I may have made a mess, but it's okay. It's fine. Maybe we could change these to messolis. Now for the coffee and chocolate one. This time be careful of the ends coming out. It's like a chocolate mocha delight. Goodness me, the creaminess, the ricotta, the crispy cannoli, the chocolate, the coffee. Oh my goodness me. It is an absolute little treat. And you've got to give this a go. You can't miss out on this. So there we have it for this week. Our delightful cannolis with the ricotta, mascarpone, the lemon curd, and then you've got the ricotta and mascarpone mixed in with the cocoa powder, the espresso powder, and then drizzled off with white chocolate and dipped in dark chocolate. Oh my goodness me, you gotta give this a go. You won't be disappointed. Feel free to check out the list of ingredients below in the description box, so if you want to give this a bash, you can do. In addition, if you liked the video, feel free to give a like or maybe a dislike, whichever you prefer. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well, always appreciated. In addition, if you want to catch me cooking live, we are on Twitch, Monday to Thursday, 10 AM Mountain Time we start, so feel free to come and pop along. The link is down below in the description box, so feel free to go click and check it out. But until next week, amigos, stay safe, awesome, and amazing.